welcome Todd Mannion.
All right. Good morning, universe. How are y'all doing today? Good, good. Hey, quick show of hands. How many of you, this is your very first universe? Wow, that is amazing. What's way more hands than I actually was anticipating, to be honest with you. This is my first universe as well. And so I just would love to take a second to introduce myself. Hi, I'm Todd, and I'm a developer. And like all of you, I love GitHub. I've used GitHub for about a decade now, and I now get to be part of the GitHub team, and I'm just so proud to be a part of this incredible community. At GitHub, I have the privilege of stewarding the product that we create for enterprises and enterprise developers, GitHub Enterprise. And let me tell you, GitHub Enterprise has come a long way. How many of you use GitHub Enterprise Server? All right, yeah, well, we started with GitHub Enterprise Server in 2011, and then we brought in then Enterprise Cloud 2017. How many people use Enterprise Cloud? Yep, all right. And then most recently, we introduced support for enterprise managed users in 2021. So last one here, how many of you use enterprise managed users? All right, great. Each step in that journey has really leveled up GitHub's enterprise readiness. And today, we are going to take it to 11. First, we're going to talk about the next evolution of GitHub Enterprise Cloud. Then, we're going to hear from a customer that's been using that evolution as one of their first steps on their AI transformation journey. And then finally, my administrator friends, today is the day you all been waiting for. We are going to talk a ton about administration and our administration features and how we're making your lives a delight. So let's go ahead and start with a demo. Now, I want you to remember throughout the demo that it is just GitHub. As you can see, we have repos, issues, projects, and even the exciting Copilot for Enterprise. But for me and some enterprises, this will be the most exciting demo that you might see at Universe. Because under the covers, this is no ordinary GitHub. It is GitHub with data residency. It is GitHub running in the EU. It is GitHub that you can make yours. It is GitHub with continually up-to-date features with no downtime upgrades. It is the next evolution of GitHub Enterprise Cloud. And it is an evolution that makes GitHub Enterprise Cloud available to all developers around the globe. Let's go ahead and explore how we've built this so that you can go back to your team and describe how, for many of you that need data residency, GitHub is unlocking your next step in your AI transformation. First, let's start with the global view. At the lowest level, each GitHub Enterprise Cloud region is hosted in an Azure data center. This provides two big benefits to enterprises with data residency requirements. First, it is distinct from the traditional .com and open source cloud, and each region is separate from the others. An enterprise's code, issues, projects, and even actions are all stored and run in the chosen region, and each region adheres to Microsoft's Phase 1 EU boundary commitments. Save for what GitHub needs to operate the product, your code stays in the region it's hosted in. The second big advantage is that Azure provides a global footprint for GitHub expansion. GitHub can take advantage of one of the largest cloud providers on the planet to bring the next evolution of GitHub Enterprise Cloud to all developers around the world. Zooming in on a region, each GitHub Enterprise Cloud region is composed of what we call stamps. Think of a stamp as like an office park, where many enterprises operate separate but side by side. Each stamp is comprised of 3 sites, with each site hosted in an Azure availability zone. These sites are constantly communicating and having encrypted communications with each other to provide business continuity and disaster recovery capabilities. Your issues, PRs, and more are continually synced. If one or two sites were to go down, your GitHub home would continue operating. Finally, a stamp is also continually backed up into another regional Azure data center. If the worst happens and all 3 sites in a stamp go down, GitHub will be able to restore your data from that in-region backup, giving you the peace of mind that GitHub has your back in the good times and the bad. Zooming in one final time, within the context of a stamp, each enterprise gets its own unique GitHub home on the internet. The first unique part of your home is your URL. Upon provisioning, each enterprise will get its own unique namespace on ghe.com. For example, contoso.ghe.com. Next, within the context of that URL namespace, you can organize and use whatever organization names or usernames you want. With this improvement, every enterprise on the planet can have an engineering organization, and a user like Todd Mannion can exist in 2 enterprises, like in GitHub and Contoso. This is your enterprise. It's your home, and now you can truly personalize and customize it to you and your organization's needs. All right, yeah, that's great. Now, going back to our demo, though, like I said, I just want you to remember that, this is just GitHub. Though we've talked a lot about a lot of changes underneath the covers, right? Really, under the surface, .com and each region share the same code base. Due to some incredible work on our deployment pipeline, a change to GitHub.com is a change to all GitHub Enterprise Cloud regions. In other words, regions are continually up to date relative to .com. The GitHub experience in a region is the GitHub experience on .com. New features, whether they be GitHub Copilot features, Actions features, Projects features, will be available shortly after they are available on .com, with no upgrade operations and no downtime, ensuring that you can focus on building without interruption. This is a GitHub with all the features that you care about and is available to all developers in the most demanding of regions. It is truly our next evolution and why it is, in my opinion, one of the most exciting demos you might see here at Universe today. But it's not just a demo. I'm pleased to announce that this evolution of GitHub Enterprise Cloud that will enable every organization to embark on their AI transformation journey with the data residency they need is available today, starting in the EU. Today, we are opening the EU region for all enterprises, and we'll soon open more on a rolling basis around the globe in regions like Australia, Asia, Latin America. And we'll also be adding new authorizations like FedRAMP Moderate. And we are going to do this with no increase to the price of GitHub Enterprise. Deploying to a region is just another deployment cloud option for our GitHub Enterprise licenses. We are very excited for this evolution, and our customers are too. In fact, I'd like to invite one who's been using the product for about a year to the stage with me. Please welcome to the stage Dr. Holger Kassinger, Head of Digital Experience Platforms at Carl Zeiss.
Thank you, Josh. Thanks. Thanks for having me at Universe, and good morning, Universe, also from my side. I'm really delighted to have the opportunity to tell you more about the meaning of this evolution of GitHub Enterprise Cloud for us and how it helps us as Zeiss in our digital and AI transformation. But before we get started, I want you to ask 2 questions. So first, as this is also my first Universe, how many of you have ever heard of Zeiss before? Roughly a third, I would say. And the second question, How many of you think you use or own a product made with size technology inside? Oh boy. If I were to tell my marketing department, that's not so good. All right, thank you very much. You will be surprised. To put everything into perspective, let me briefly look back at history, how it all began for size. So size was founded 178 years ago. So for a long time, we were a typical, traditional European hardware company, as there are many, many others. And because this makes us as old as Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, and Larry Page together, this is usually not the best starting point for transforming into a really successful software company, right? But anyway, when our founder, Carl Zeiss, launched his first product in the mid of the 19th century, it was the first microscope in the world. At that time, no one really would have thought about software or digitization, of course. So over the years, many hardware innovations were added, not only in microscopy, but also in medical technology, for instance. So here you can see the world's first industrially produced slit lamp. Zeiss has also made a big step for mankind with its lenses by filming the first lunar landing in 1969 and enabling Buzz Aldrin to shoot pictures from Earth for the first time. But also for you as developers, Zeiss has made big steps. For example, we made 193 nanometers wavelengths possible in microchip production for the first time in 1998. So I could list dozens more innovations, but as you can probably already see, Zeiss has been a pioneer in optics and optoelectronics since the beginning of its time, and has continuously produced technological hardware innovation for its customers over the year. It's not without reason that more than 20 research teams have won Nobel Prizes with Zeiss instruments. However, over the last decades, our customers have come up with increasingly challenging requirements. And as these could no longer be implemented in hardware alone, Zeiss has gradually begun to transform itself from a pure hardware company into a hardware and software company. Thus, today, we're no longer talking about pure lenses on the moon, but about nanoprime lenses in cinema cameras with integrated electronic interfaces for transmitting real-time metadata, facilitating easier post-production. So for instance, the Lord of the Rings trilogy or James Bond movies have been filmed with Zeiss cameras. But also the optical inserts for the Apple Vision Pro device are produced by Zeiss, precisely adjusted to compensate for the individual user's visual impairment and to improve the same experience for these users. Today, we're no longer talking about compound microscopes, but about AI-based microscopy, which enables, for instance, universities to revolutionize the way they acquire images and manage the performance of their microscopes. Today, we're no longer talking about pure slit lamps, but about digital hybrid visualization, which enables surgeons to conduct complex surgeries in the brain and in spine, and to visualize anatomical landmarks with even more confidence in 4D. And today we're talking about multifunctional smart glass, which enables our customers to integrate and combine various functionalities such as lighting, projection, filters, and detection using holographic optical elements. This makes floating switches, video telephony on window or mirror surfaces, or augmented reality head-up displays for aircraft cockpits or cars possible very, very soon. And today, we're no longer talking about 193 nanometer wavelengths, but about high-NA EUV lithography, which enables our customers to produce microchips with structures way below 10 nanometers. And because we are the only company in the world enabling this technology, already today 80% of all microchips worldwide are produced with SAIS technology. So I'm very sure all of you will have a microchip with SAIS technology inside, even if you did not know that before. So the equation is very easy. Without SAIS, no iPhone under the Christmas tree, or without SAIS, no GitHub. So if I now would ask you again, how many of you think you own or use a product made with SAIS technology inside? Great, thank you. As you can see from these examples, SAIS is the market or technology leader in many areas. Thus, today, we're no longer talking about a typical traditional European hardware company, but about a global hardware and software company employing almost 46,000 people in over 100 locations in 50 countries around the world. We generate a revenue of more than $11 billion a year, primarily in these 4 segments you see here. And our customers today range from manufacturing industries such as automotive, aerospace, electronics, power and energy, and so on, over universities and research institutes to the highly regulated medical industry, and of course, the biggest semiconductor manufacturers. All of these customers have one thing in common. They expect the latest technological innovations in our products in order to be successful themselves. And for us, this means that in future, even more software will be required, be it hardware-related, in front-end and back-end systems, or in separate digital products. And this is why today we now have a total of more than 12,500 developers at SAIS that are actively committing code. Although for us, this is an impressive number, our digital and AI transformation is far from over. And that's the point where GitHub comes in as a partner. In order to further expand our strong competitive position in all markets and all technologies, and in order to be able to supply our customers with the latest innovations, we need one single development platform which optimally fits all our needs. So this includes enhancing collaboration across our global distributed teams, reducing operational costs for managing on-premise servers, quick access to innovative features, speeding up innovation and iterate more rapidly, ensuring code quality and security right from the beginning, leverage the potential of AI to write better code faster, and, of course, data residency to ensure confidential data and code stays within a specific region. If you compare these needs to the development platforms we are currently using, you can easily see why this evolution of GitHub Enterprise Cloud, which Todd introduced today, is a game changer for SAIS. It allows our developers to leverage the full power of the cloud together with GitHub Copilot Enterprise while ensuring that sensitive data stays within a specific region they trust. This evolution will also help us to consolidate our currently fragmented tool landscape. While our developers still predominantly use Azure DevOps today, this picture will change drastically over the coming months and years and move very strongly in the direction of GitHub Enterprise Cloud, in particular for confidential code. And only for secret code, we might stay in our on-prem data centers, but that will be a decision that may change in future as well. If you want to know more about details and about the experience with GitHub Enterprise Cloud, I can warmly recommend the demo by my colleague Henrik, which will take place this afternoon. He will give you a deeper insight into our transition approach to GitHub Enterprise and into the medical technology project we had together with GitHub in the last month to evaluate the evolution already in practice. And this brings me to the end. So thank you, Todd, once again for this evolution and for partnering with us. And thank you all for joining.
Thanks very much. That was excellent. Appreciate it. Whew. Thank you, Holga and Zeiss, for being incredible partners on this journey with us. Customers and companies like Zeiss are essential partners in helping to define the next evolution of GitHub Enterprise. And we continually hear from our customers that an effective, empowered administration experience is essential. So now I'd like to talk to all of my administrator friends. How many of you are GitHub administrators here today? All right, this section is for you. We're going to be talking about some of the major ways that we are going to give you more control over the security of your enterprise, over the application ecosystem that surrounds your enterprise, and effectively how you manage costs for your enterprise. First, we're going to give you a ton of new ways to secure your enterprise, starting with how you organize people. Soon, we'll be introducing support for enterprise teams. We know that every organization is different and that you want to better mirror your existing teams in GitHub. With enterprise teams, you can define a team at the enterprise level and make it available to all organizations in your enterprise. You'll be able to assign a role to that team, use it in an org, and even give it access to repos. We also know that each team is unique and needs different permissions, which is why we are investing in expanded roles and permissions. Soon, GitHub will support custom roles for both enterprises and organizations. You'll be able to assign them to users, apps, and teams. And when you combine them with a ton of new granular permissions coming over the next few months, you'll be able to mix and match to your heart's content to define the specific roles your business needs. Oh, all right, yeah, okay, there we go. Thanks. We've also heard that you wanted fine-grained permissions to extend to personal access tokens and also to be able to limit how long those access tokens can be used. That's why we're investing in fine-grained personal access tokens with expiration. Fine-grained PATs lock down access at a deep level, helping you meet your compliance and security mandates. Compared to the original coarse-grained PATs, they're a monumental improvement in security posture. We're also adding rotation policies for all PATs, allowing you to control how long they're valid for. This allows you to give someone only the permissions they need for the amount of time that they need them. We're also introducing support for enterprise repository policies and custom enterprise properties. Enterprise repository policies, try saying that 10 times fast, that will enable granular governance of a repository's lifecycle across all of your organizations, including enterprise managed username repositories. Couple this with enterprise custom properties, and you'll be able to create new repositories that always meet your organization's standards. All right, yeah. The second big area that we are investing in is your ecosystem surrounding your enterprise. We know that GitHub doesn't operate alone. You have many different tools like identity providers and GitHub applications. And today, I'm pleased to announce that we have made generally available support for both SAML 2.0 and SCIM standards that GitHub now supports all identity providers that supports those standards. That's a lot of new identity providers, including custom ones. So as long as you support the standards, and it will support it too. With this capability, you can bring your identity provider of choice to GitHub, giving you greater flexibility with regards to tooling and team management systems. We also know that you're spending a ton of time managing applications across your organizations. We want to save you that time. So we're introducing enterprise support for GitHub apps. With this, you'll be able to manage, all right. There you go, that's great. All my administrator friends are having a good time today. It's so many features. With enterprise support for GitHub apps, you'll be able to manage app installations in every organization from one place. And we're not just saving you time. With enterprise apps, you can streamline how you set policies, create standardized organizations, and more. Beyond identity providers and GitHub apps, we also know that your tool sets often use our APIs to facilitate seamless operations and enhance productivity. However, frequent or excessive API calls can impact the stability of GitHub's infrastructure, and as such, are subject to rate limits. But understanding why or what the cause was of the rate limit has been a consistent request. To help with this, we are launching a brand new API Insights dashboard. With this dashboard, administrators will be able to see what APIs are being used, by whom, and how many API calls are being made, giving you unprecedented insight into platform usage. With this dashboard, you'll be able to figure out who's doing what in your enterprise and go and help fix the problem. Yes. All right, our final major area of investment is in our enhanced billing system. A couple of months ago, we introduced an easier way for GitHub customers to only pay for what they use. Now, our goal is to make it easy for you to easily manage costs and understand your usage. First, we've added budgets and alerts to help keep your cost centers within spending limits. No longer will you be surprised by a high bill from a given cost center. You'll be able to set budgets and alerts for your enterprise, organizations, or repos, helping to control costs and staying informed of your budget utilization. Next, we've extended cost centers so that you can allocate spend to different Azure subscriptions, enabling you to track charges at different levels. If this team needs to be charged one way and this team needs to be charged by another one, we'll be able to support that through these cost center upgrades. And finally, we are giving you usage details at an extremely granular level. With usage reporting, you'll be able to fully see who or what is consuming enterprise licenses, Copilot licenses, actions minutes, code spaces minutes, in every slice and dice that you can imagine. With this level of granularity, you'll be able to tell exactly where your spend is going and who or what is spending it. Yeah. We are so excited for all of these features, and we hope that these will really delight you, my enterprise administrator friends. Many are available today, but keep an eye out for others over the coming months. Okay, that was a lot, and I know that many of you might have more questions. So please make sure that you're joining me and my fellow Hubbers at these sessions. Also, if you want to hear more about GitHub Enterprise Cloud with data residency from Holger and Zeiss, please go check out their talk. And if you have any follow-up questions specifically after this, we'd love to answer them. Holger and I will be at the Meet the Speaker space here in a few minutes to answer any other specific follow-up questions that you might have. Thanks for your time today, and I hope that you have a great universe.